Hello guys, good evening.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Yesterday's concept did you learn?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
May I ask you three questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Risha,
Yes, sir.
what is the general electronic configuration of S block elements?
S block, sir.
S.
NS 1 to 2.
Very good. And which group elements are called as block elements?
First and second.
Okay, good.
Thank you, sir.
Bhargav,
Yes, sir.
which group elements are comes under P block elements?
Sir, from group 13 to 18 are P block elements.
Good. What is the general valence shell electronic configuration of P block element?
NS2, NP1,
NS2,
NP1.
NP1. This is 13th group. I'm asking for P block elements, whole P block elements. What is the general valence shell electronic configuration of P block element? NS2,
Okay. NS2, NP2,
P 1 to 6.
2, 1 to 6. Okay.
Yes. Next, Nagabhushan.
Yes, sir.
Which group of elements comes under D block?
From third group to 12th group.
Very good. So 1 and 2 are S block. Here 13 to 18 are D block. In between this,
Yes, sir.
third group to 12th group are D block. Correct. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the general valence shell electronic configuration of D block element?
Sir, taking the value of n, where n is the period number,
Very good.
we can write the formula n minus 1 d
Uh,
10
uh,
n s 0 to 2.
very good. Fine. Okay.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, actually in this account, there are two students, sir. One is Nagbhushan, one is Gopala Krishna. Gopala Krishna is my brother. So,
Okay. It's 11th class only. Gopal Krishna also.
yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay. The next okay. About a block element.
Sir, I had a doubt.
Hmm.
Sir,
Tell me.
I don't know. I think you didn't mention it last class, but while I was reading the textbook, there's this thing called a principal quantum number. What is
Yes,
that,
yes.
sir?
N we are writing now. N yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is only principal quantum number.
What is it, sir?
It represents main shell of the atom. We are calling now main shell. KLM. KLM, and those only called number is 1, 2, 3. These are called principal quantum number.
Okay, sir.
Principal quantum number called N. Okay, this and all comes in structure of atom. Don't worry, I will teach you there in the topic. Okay, next, a block element. See here, the last electron is entering into the F orbital of anti-penultimate shell of an atom is called a block element. Element in which last electron enters to anti-penultimate.
Sir, what's before penultimate?
ANTE.
Thank you, sir.
anti-penultimate shell of atom.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, is penultimate shell and anti-penultimate shell are same or are both of them different?
Different.
Okay, sir.
See, you know what is valency shell, right?
Yes, sir.
This is valency shell. This is a penultimate shell. This is anti-penultimate shell.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Right definition.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay. Next, see which are called a block elements. You know, a block elements are separately noted in periodic table. Downside, they are separately maintaining in periodic table. So, in a block element, two series are there. They are lanthanide, also called 4F block, 4F series. Actinide. This is 5F series. So lanthanide, elements after lanthanum, such as cerium 58 to lutetium 71 are called lanthanide. So lanthanide belongs to 6th period. And third group. No doubt, lanthanide.
Sir,
No, tell me.
sir, lanthanides and actinides are a
Ah.
part of the third group now, sir.
Yeah,
Third
correct
group
only.
falls in D block, sir.
Okay, you are asking
But why
third
are we
group.
classifying? Sir?
Okay, listen. Here, third group is belongs to. You are saying third group is belongs to D block element. Why those are separately calling A block element? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Here, if you go for third group, scandium, yttrium. Next element is lanthanum. Next, actinium is present. See, these
Yes,
all
sir.
elements properties are okay, somewhat similar. Third group. In this all elements,
Yes, sir.
the last electron is entering into d orbital only. In lanthanum also, last electron is entering into d orbital. Actinium also, last electron is entering into d orbital. But if you
D
go for
orbital.
this cerium to lutetium, the last electron is entering into f orbital. But however, properties of elements are somewhat similar to lanthanum. Here, these elements. One more thing, here
Sir, I'm
100%.
unable to hear you.
See, here the properties of all the elements, of course, huge properties are similar. But not 100% properties are not similar. All the elements not having similar properties. You select any group of elements, major chemical properties are similar. But individually, each element having some different chemical properties. So like that. Here, lanthanum also having somewhat different properties compared to this and all. Here, lanthanum, cerium to lutetium properties are somewhat similar to the lanthanum. That's what these are called lanthanides. And also, the lanthanum element belongs to third period.
Yes, sir.
So these also just calling belongs to third period, but not all the elements are not having the same chemical properties. And we shouldn't call those belongs to D block elements. Here, majorly blocks are classified based on their last electron entering into the orbital. In case of this element, the last electron is entering into f orbital, not going into d orbital. That's what from cerium to lutetium taking in a block element.
Yes.
Okay, completed lanthanide definition.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, actinide. Elements after actinium. Thorium, 92, lawrencium, 103. Called actinide.
So what's the element before lawrencium?
Before?
The TH, the 90th one, the 90th atomic number. The one which you wrote, yes.
This is thorium.
Thorium.
TH.
Oh,
Yeah.
thorium. Okay.
Thorium. Actinide belongs to which period? Period. Seventh period.
7th period.
And third group only. This also belongs to third group.
Sir,
Tell me.
are all the elements in actinoids radioactive or only thorium and
No.
uranium?
All elements are radioactive elements. The elements which are belongs to block elements, all are radioactive elements.
So even lanthanoids are radioactive?
Yes, radioactive.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, right, actinide.
Sir,
Tell me.
What is the main difference between actinides and lactanides?
Major difference in their oxidation state. Oxidation states are different. It will come in chemical bonding chapter. We are going to, no, there also not comes this concept. Oxidation state, it comes in redox reaction, it will come.
Okay, sir.
In this chapter, we will discuss how to calculate the oxidation states of element. The oxidation state is different for lanthanides and actinides.
Okay, sir.
And its electronic configurations also different. Okay, so here write a lanthanides electronic configuration. In general, valence shell electronic configuration of lanthanides is N-2 F 1 to 14 N-1 D 0 to 1 0 to 1. Wait, just a bit. Wait. Did you wrote this one? Wait a
No,
second.
sir.
Yes.
No, sir, no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wait. Actually, instead of writing N-2 this and all, we may write directly number for lanthanide. Instead of N-2, these are also called 4F block elements. No, lanthanides are also called 4F block elements. So 4F 1 to 14. Here 5. 5D 0 to 1. 6S 2. You write directly this one. This one. Okay, for next, okay, you write only this one. This is not mandatory. General valence shell electronic configuration of actinide is here just one number increases 5F 0 to no, this like 1 to 14, 6D 0 to 1, 7S 2. General valence shell electronic configuration of a block element is now you have to write N-2 F 1 to 14 N-1 D 0 to 1 NS N is equal to 6 and 7 only. 6 or 7. Okay, completed.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay, next.
Sir,
Tell me.
I have a doubt. D has the capacity of holding 10 electrons, right?
Yeah,
So then
yeah,
why
you are
do we
correct.
write n minus 1 d to the power 0 to 1?
But here won't stable electron. That's what jumping immediately into F orbital. Here won't be stable long time. That's what electron jumping into F orbital.
Okay.
Okay, either sometimes maintain 0 or sometimes maybe 1 electron.
Okay.
So, sir, does this have any exceptions?
Here,
Does this have any exceptions from 0 to 1 from D block?
oh, many elements. Here, if it's not even 1 or 2, many elements maintain 0. That's what's not mandatory.
So, do we have exceptions which do not?
No, not that type of elements. No, it's not mandatory, right? Because here out of 28 elements in each series, 14 elements are there, right? In lanthanides also 14 elements, actinides also having 14 elements. Here many elements maintains D0 and most of the elements maintains D1. So here there is no exception.
Okay, sir.
Okay, for few elements are there, those electronic configurations are very important. So those elements I will explain you in a while. MCQ explanation.
Okay, sir.
Okay, we have a completed material book. There I will explain you which elements electronic configurations are important, mainly in D block elements.
Okay, sir.
And F block elements. All right, prediction of group and period of an element. Prediction of group and period of an element. Prediction of group and period of an element. Okay, here few note points are there. First of all, note down that. Then we will do how to find out the group number and period number of an element. Period number of any element.
Sir, is this a table?
No. Just points only. 5 or 6 points only there. Note down these points. Then we will solve a few questions.
Okay, sir.
Period number of any element is equal to its electronic configuration of equal to its highest principal quantum number. Highest principal quantum number in its electronic configuration. So, period number of any element is equal to highest principal quantum number in its electronic configuration. For example, just to see this example, I am writing electronic configuration of aluminium. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. This is the electronic configuration of aluminium. So see its principal quantum number. Here 1, 2. Here also 2, here also 2. And here 3. Principal quantum number 1, 2, 3. Which is the highest? 3 is the highest. That was the aluminium belongs to third period. Prediction of period is very easy from its electronic configuration. If you write correctly electronic configuration of element, then wherever you see the highest principal quantum number, the highest number in front of orbital, that is only its period number. You got it this point?
Yes, yes, sir.
Suppose
1
I'm
minute,
writing
sir.
electronic configuration, argon 18, 4s2, 3d7. Belongs to some, this is an element, cobalt. Belongs to which period?
Fourth.
4, very good. So you see its electronic configuration, wherever it's the highest quant number, that is only it's a period number. Next.
So,
Ah, tell
could
me
you repeat? I wasn't able to listen.
this point.
Yeah.
Period number of any element is equal to highest principal quantum number in its electronic configuration. For example, you are writing electronic configuration of element having atomic number 17. Electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Okay, this number in front of orbitals spd, that number refers its principal quantum number. So this is 1, here 2, here also 2, here 3, here also 3. Which is the biggest number? 3 is biggest number. That's what this element belongs to third period. Fine.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir,
Tell me.
will they ask in exams, will they ask us to write down these points?
Yeah,
Or do we have to just...
no. These points won't ask in exam. Just they will give you questions. Something
Okay,
writing number, atomic number 67 or 84 or 112 belongs to.
So
which
we
period
only
and
have to
which group.
follow these.
Yes. And group number prediction. For S block, group number is equal to its valency electron. Valency electron. For P block element, group number is equal to 10 plus number of valence electrons. Ten plus number of valence electron. Next, for a D block element, group number is equal to number of electrons in n-1 D subshell plus number of electrons in NS subshell.
So could you repeat D, the group number?
For D block elements, group number is equal to number of electrons in n-1 D subshell. So if you write electronic configuration, there you can get clarity, which is n-1 D orbital. Nothing but D orbital means the last electron is entering into D orbital, right? So how many electrons are present in D orbital plus number of electrons in S orbital of valence shell is equal to its group number. One example. Iron 26 electronic configuration, full configuration, right? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d6. First shell, second shell, third shell, fourth, and again this is third shell only. Actually, this comes here and this need to go there. 3d6, 4s2. Now, okay. See, for D block
Sir,
element.
could you repeat D block?
Yes, yes, that's one. For D block element, group number is equal to number of electrons in n minus 1 bracket D subshell plus number of electrons in ns subshell. Is this visible clearly? N minus 1 D.
Yes, sir.
Okay, n minus 1 D subshell plus number of electrons in ns subshell. Completed 3 points.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now listen for D block element.
No,
How to
sir.
predict the group number of iron. So first you have to identify which is valency shell. Which is valency shell there?
4.
4. Very good. And what belongs to which period it is? Iron belongs to which period?
4.
Fourth
4
period.
only. Highest number is 4. So it belongs to 4th period.
4th period.
Yeah. Now group number. This is valency shell. Valence shell, s orbital having how many electrons? See the formula clearly. Number of electrons in n-1 d subshell plus number of electrons in ns subshell of valence, ns subshell or valence shell. Okay, here valence shell is 4th shell having s orbital have 2 electrons. 2 plus n-1 d subshell. This full belongs to n-1 because 4 minus 1 is 3. 3s, 3p, 3d all comes under n-1, but they're specially asking for d only. Don't neglect this 3s and 3p. Only for 3d. How many electrons are there?
6.
6. So 2 plus 6, 8. So iron belongs to 8th group. Fine.
Sir, could you repeat? I couldn't understand.
See how to predict the group number. You need to see valence electrons first. Valence electrons are 2 electrons and n-1 d subshell. n-1 d subshell. 4 minus 1 is how? N is equal to 4 here.
3D.
3d. Yes. 3d having 6
Huh.
electrons. So 6 plus 2, 8. It belongs to 8th group.
Okay, sir.
Lastly, one point, magic number. Right, last point, 2, 8, 8, 18, 18, 32 are called magic numbers. Okay, these magic numbers are useful when you know particular element in a group, their respective group element atomic numbers you can predict easily. Suppose nitrogen atom, atomic number is 7, nitrogen. Nitrogen belongs to which period? 2nd period. Belongs to 2nd period. Okay, this is for 1st period, 2nd period is 8, 3rd is 8. Then now you add 8. 2 plus 8? Sorry, 7 plus 8. 2, 8, 8, 18, 18, 32. This is 1st group, 2nd group, 3rd group, 4th group, 5th group, 6th group. Sir, calling group periods it is. 1st period, 2nd up to 6th period. Now, nitrogen atom is belongs to 2nd period. Atomic number is 7. Next element is here, something element is there. What is its atomic number? You need to add 7 plus 8. 7 plus 8, 15. 15 is phosphorus. After we are going into, okay, this one comes under third period. We already decided. And next, we need to add 18. We are going into fourth period. 15 plus 18?
33.
33. So element is arsenic. Further, you need to add 18. 33 plus 18. 51. Antimony. Next, 51 plus 32.
83.
83.
80. This month. Okay, this is predicting of atomic number of an element with the help of magic numbers. Okay. Next, go to question. Write on question. Write the electronic configuration of the given element write the electronic configuration of given elements and predict period and group number. Write the electronic configuration of given elements and predict its period and group number. Here element A, atomic number Z is equal to 9. Atomic number 12. Atomic number 29. First we'll do these three. Question completed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see here the element A is given. Atomic number is 9. Tell me first of all electronic configuration with atomic number 9.
So,
Anirudh,
1s2, 2s2, 2p5.
1s2, 2s2, 2p5. Okay.
2p5.
See electronic configuration carefully. Belongs to which block first of all? Belongs to which block? S block, P block, D block, or S block?
P block.
P block, because
P
the
block.
last electron, 9th electron is
block.
entering into 2p, right? Nothing but p orbital. So it is P block element. It is P block element. Period number. Which period?
2.
15.
Yes.
Fifth period.
No, which period? Which second.
Period.
See, look this number. Here 1, 2, 2 is there. So highest number is 2.
2.
Second period. Group number.
50. No.
Group number. How to calculate group number for P block element?
10 plus number of valence.
10 plus number of valence electrons. How many valence electrons are there? How many valence
5.
electrons?
5.
5.
Yeah.
5.
7.
7. Correct. 7. Valence shell is second shell is only valence. This is inner shell. One means inner shell. Next shell is second shell. In second shell, 2s2, 2p5. Total electron 7.
Okay.
Now it is 17. Group number is called 17. Completed first one.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Next, Ananya.
Yes, sir.
Tell me electronic configuration for the atomic number 12.
3s2.
First. 1s2.
Okay.
1s2. Same 2s2. After 2p6. 2 plus 2 plus 6, 10 electrons over. Still we have 2 electrons. Those 2 electrons are going into 3s2. Completed 12 electrons. Now tell me, this element belongs to which group? Sorry, not group, which block?
S block.
S block.
S block, very
S
good.
block.
Because the last electron entered into S, so it is S block element. Okay. Now group name, first period number.
Third period.
Third period.
Very good.
Period.
Period number is third period. Group number. For S block element, group number is equal to
2. The power of the S, I mean the
Number
last.
of valence electrons.
very good. Number of valence
Second
electrons.
two.
Which is valence shell here? Third cell is
Yeah.
valence
3s2.
shell. So we are having only
Third,
2 electrons.
3s2.
Yeah.
2.
2. Very good. Next. Z is equal to 29. Who will tell? Ask me.
Yes, sir.
Tell me electronic configuration
So
for Z
the
is equal to 29.
29th atomic number is of copper, so it's
Yes.
a special element.
Hmm.
So the configuration will be so
Argon 18,
Argon-
4s1, 3d.
argon to the power 18, 4s1,
Okay.
and 3d10.
Okay. So full electronic configuration. Right?
Yeah.
Now 1s2,
1s2,
2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1. Better to write 3d10, 4s1. Okay. Belongs to which block element?
S block.
S block.
Yeah.
Carefully.
D block.
D block.
D block.
D block.
Don't
Yes.
confuse here. In D block element, it's a D block. D block element. Period number.
4.
Very good. Period number is highest number is 4. Group number.
11.
Group number is we have to count the valence shell 4 and it's having almost the s orbital only. So 1 plus n minus 1 d 3 only, that is n minus 1 means 4 minus 1 is 3 and d 10 electrons. So 11th group.
So 1 second, why is it a D block element, sir?
Which is this one.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Okay,
Even
here
though-
last electron is not entering into s orbital. Don't confuse here. Last electron is not entering into s orbital. The actual electron is entering into d orbital, last electron. Actually, while writing electronic configuration, we have to write 4s1, 3d10.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
now
for your
it's-
convenience, I wrote first 3d10 and 4s1.
Okay, sir. Got it.
So, however, you write no problem, like 4s1 or 3d10 or 3d10, 4s1.
So,
Okay, completed. ABC next
yes, sir.
D and E also there. The atomic number is 54. E atomic number is 58. That is equal to 54. Who will tell electronic configuration? Z is equal to 54. I gave you diagram, electron filling orbital diagram like this. Go to the diagram and then tell me electronic configuration. Atomic number Z is equal to 54. Who will tell? Nagbhushan?
Yes, sir. Figuring out.
Atomic number is 54. By seeing that Euler diagram, tell me electronic configuration.
Yes, sir.
First electron going into
So
1s,
1s2,
1s2,
2s2,
2s2,
2p6,
2s,
2p6,
3s2,
3s2,
3p6,
3p6.
and 3d10,
Okay, 3d10,
10,
4s2,
4s2,
4p6,
4p6,
36
and
all
40.
completed.
4d10,
Next,
I guess. Okay.
4p6
4d10.
after electrons are going into 5s2
5s2,
5,
4d10,
and 4d10.
4d10,
Yeah, 4d10. How many electrons here? Till here, 36.
10,
46 plus 2.
18,
48 now?
32, 40,
And still 6 are left. So 5p,
5,
6. Count.
5p4,
5p6. Yes, sir.
Finish now,
Yes, sir.
54.
Yes, sir.
36
yes,
plus 10, 46, 48, and 50. Okay, this
Yes,
is the
sir.
electronic configuration. The element belongs to which block?
P block.
C block.
P block.
P
That's
block.
correct. P
Yes,
block.
sir.
It is
P
P
block.
block.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Period number
5,
5. Good.
5.
Group number. It is P block. Careful.
10 plus number of valence electrons.
10 plus number of valence electrons. 10 plus how many valence electrons are there?
12, no, 2.
2,
Sure. 2 only. Valence itself 5s2, 5p6, right? This is only valency.
Oh,
so 8,
Careful. That is 8.
8.
So total 18. So its element belongs to
18.
18th group. That is a noble gas element.
Sir, can you last two electronic configuration 4D,
4d10,
5p6.
4d10, 5p6. 5s2, 4d10, 5p6. Visible now?
yes sir.
Yes.
Okay, completed this. Next,
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
58.
1s2,
Think as this electronic configuration you need to write. So instead of that, I'm writing directly this for 36. Up to here, 36. Krypton, 36. Next, tell me electronic configuration.
Yeah, 5
5s2,
4d10, 5p6, and I said
4d10,
6s2.
5s,
5p6. After
And
electrons are going
5s2,
into
4d10,
6s2.
6s2, 5D.
Very good.
6,
Yeah.
6s2,
5D.
5d,
6p,
Oh,
here only small.
Sir, it is
5d2 not
4F2,
possible.
sir.
For
Sir,
5d1, like quickly then 5d1, 4f1.
Yeah, sir.
oh.
Careful, 5d1 and 4f1. Okay, I think by seeing simply atomic number, you are unable to write electronic configuration. That's what in yesterday class I gave you which elements are belongs to D block, which elements are belongs to F block. Today also I said elements from 58 to 71 F block, and 92 103. These all comes under F block elements. Yes.
Yes.
And yesterday I gave you D block elements are 21 to 30, 39 to 48, and 48 after Lanthana, 57,
72 to 80.
57 and 72 to
72
80.
to 80.
Yeah,
And
80 after
89,
89 and
104
to 112.
112.
All elements comes under D block. Okay. Now this element belongs to which block?
So 1 second, sir. So
Tell me.
why 4F has a capacity of 14 electrons, then why aren't we just writing 4F2? Why 5D1?
4F? That's what I'm saying. Here, after going one electron into the d orbital, its energy becomes more than the 4f orbital. That's what next electron is going into 4f orbital.
So how do we know that then, sir?
No. We don't know. This is practically determined value. But that's what I'm saying. By simply saying atomic number, it's not possible to write electronic configuration correctly.
Okay.
That's why you must know F block elements are what and what are the D block elements. And the SNP, okay, SNP is very easy to predict with the help of noble gas atomic numbers. If you know, it's very easy to predict P block and S block. Okay, that one I will tell you logic, that's how to find S and P block. Here the element belongs to
F block.
F block.
Yes, it is F block element. See, one more thing. After electron going into 5D, only one electron, then electron starts filling 4f. After complete filling 4f orbital up to 14, then electron is coming back to d orbital. Don't forget this point. After going only one electron into 5D, next electron is going into 4f. Further, all electrons are going into f orbital only. It fills up to f14. After completely filling F14, then electrons are coming back to d orbital. Those only we are calling hafnium 72 elements to 80 mercury. In this case, in this element, further d orbital only filled. Before filling d orbital, this completely f orbital is filled with F14. Okay. If you write electronic configurations of the elements, you will get idea how to give electronic configurations for lanthanides and actinides. It is which period it is?
6th period.
6.
Period number is 6. Group number, okay. It is F block element. Group number is 3.
So we don't have to show work for finding the group since we already know it's a actinoid or lanthanoid.
Yeah. That's I think not mandatory. Just we are assigning for group is belongs to 3. Otherwise, you mentioned period number for block. That's sufficient.
Yes.
So,
Tell me.
in case instead of writing 5D1 and 4F1, if we just mention 4F2 and not 5D1, after 6S2 we just write 4F2. So will that be marked as completely wrong, or it is fine if we write that?
It's wrong. You need to give one electron because if you write up to 5D1, that element is lanthanum. 57 it is. Lanthanum. After lanthanum, electron is going into cerium. Cerium atomic number is 58. This is the first F block element.
So there might be many exceptions like that, right? So how
And
are we able to, I mean, how are we supposed to identify that here we have to, shift the electron to another subshell?
okay, that's what. In case of S block elements, we need to learn correctly electronic configurations of most of the important elements. And also it's the first element. Cerium is the first element. So here F orbital must having one electron. The first element, cerium.
All the lanthanoids also.
All the lanthanides must having one electron in its F orbital.
Yeah, yeah.
Because maybe d orbital may be 0, but starting is not 0. Then further it will become 0 because of stability. Suppose you are going for F6 for some element. What happens? F orbital maximum capacity is 14. In such cases, d electron also jumping into F, then it will become 5d0, 4f7. It gets half filled orbital. It's the most stable.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next question. Predict the position of the element in the periodic table. Predict the position of element in the periodic table. Satisfying the electronic configuration. Satisfying the electronic configuration. N-1 D1 NS2. Here N is equal to 4.
Sir,
Tell me. Completed?
sir, is this N
Yes.
minus 1 d to the power 1?
Sorry.
Is it N minus 1 d to the power 1?
No, D power 1. D1. Look at solution.
Thank you.
Given is N minus 1 D1 NS2. N equal to 4. Substitute is N equal to 4. 4 minus 1 D1 4s2 is here 3d1 4s2. So which element having 3d1 4s2 electronic configuration? So it's very easy. Until you get 3d1 configuration, you write the electronic configuration. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, then electron going into 4s orbital, 4s2, 3d1. Now count total number of electrons.
21st
21,
element, sir.
21. So atomic number of an element is Z is equal to 21. Serial number
4,
yes, serial number is
4.
4. Group number
3,
very good. Group number 3. Which block element it is?
D block.
D block. Is 3D1 4S2. Sum of this 1 plus 2 gives 3.
So we can even directly write that, right? Because the highest quantum number is 4.
Yeah. Yes,
And
and
then, yeah.
completed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next question. Elements A, B, C, D, and E have the following electronic configuration. Elements A, B, C, D, and E have the following electronic configuration. A is equal 1s2 2s2 2p1. B is equal 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p3. C is 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p5. D is 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p1. And E is 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p6 4s2. Which among these will belong to the same group in the periodic table? Same group in the periodic table.
Sir, A and D.
A and
D.
yes, correct. A and D.
for C and D also.
C and D, no? Oh, C and D. No.
So C and D.
No. A and D.
Yeah, they are in
Okay.
the same period, not group.
A belongs to P block. B also belongs to P block. C also P block. D also P block. But E is S block. And here electronic configuration 2s to 2p1, 3s to 3p1. Same group. Both the A and D belongs to same group. Solution is A and D belongs to same group. That is 13th group. 13th group. 2s to 2p1. It means ns to np1. That is the general electronic configuration of 13th group. Yes, completed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I said now how to predict the S block elements and P block elements. If you know noble gas atomic number, this is very easy to predict P block elements and S block. Noble gas, leave out helium, you everyone knows that. Okay, no problem. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Helium atomic number is 2, neon is 10, argon 18,
18.
krypton 36, xenon 54, radon 86. Okay, and noble gases also belongs to 18th group. 80th group. See how to predict X block elements. If atomic number is noble gas atomic number plus 1 equal to group 1. That belongs to group 1 and also S block. If atomic number is noble gas atomic number plus 2, that comes under group 2. So this was checkup 4. Atomic number is 4. Belongs to which group?
Group
Two.
2, sir.
Group 2. Very good. Because 2 plus 2. 4 is 2 plus 2 up to 2 only. So group 2. And suppose 11. 11
One.
means you may write 10 plus 1. Means 10 is noble gas configuration. 1 is here group 1. 38
Two.
Group 2.
belongs to second group. 19.
One.
Group 2.
1.
Yeah, 18 plus 1 is
1.
19 coming. So that belongs to first group.
Group 1.
And 88.
Group 2.
Two.
Group 2, sir.
Yes. 55.
Group 1.
Group 1.
Group
So if
1.
you know noble gas configuration,
1.
so up to plus 1 and plus 2 comes under S block. There if it is plus 1, that is first group. If it is plus 2, second group. Now for P block element. Noted this point.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
P block element prediction. If atomic number equal to noble gas atomic number minus 1. Okay, first we take minus 5. Belongs to 13th group. Atomic number is equal to noble gas atomic number minus 5. That is 13th group. That is 13th group. Suppose atomic number equal to noble gas atomic number minus 4.
14th group.
14th group. Atomic number is equal to noble gas minus 3. 15th group. Atomic number is equal to noble gas atomic number minus 2. That is 16th group. Noble gas atomic number minus 1. That is 17th group. Except for helium. While predicting P block, you don't consider helium. Okay, suppose element atomic number is 33. Belongs to which group?
15.
33.
15th group.
15th group. Very good. It is 15th group. Atomic number 35.
13.
17th group.
35.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
17.
Noble gas number minus 1 is 17th group. Okay, next. 13. 1, 3.
13.
13.
13th group.
13th group. Good.
13th group.
Yeah. 15.
15th group.
15.
15th group.
15th group. Yes. 31.
13.
13th group, sir.
13th group. Yes. 37.
17.
Sir,
37.
first group.
First group.
First.
Very good.
First.
First group. So 36 plus 1 is equal to 37. So that goes to S block and first group. Okay. Now easy now how to predict.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now going to new concept. Periodic property. periodic properties of elements. New concept in this chapter only. Periodic properties of elements. Okay. Listen, what is periodic properties? Properties of an element which depends upon electronic configuration. Those are called periodic properties of elements. Properties of an element which depends upon electronic configuration of an element. Those are called periodic properties. So under periodic properties, we are going to be study about atomic size and ionic size, ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, electron negativity, and valency. So these 5 concepts or 5 properties of an element we are going to be studying this concept. The first one is atomic radii and ionic radii. First one, okay. See what is atomic radius and ionic radius. Atomic radii. How to define atomic radius?
The distance of the shell or the orbit from the nucleus.
The distance from the nucleus and the outermost shell of an atom.
Very good. Okay. So it is the atom nucleus from the center of the nucleus to the valency shell of an atom, in which must having electron. Valence shell must contain electron. Okay. See. Distance between.
Sir, sir, I have a doubt, sir. Atoms are very small, no, sir. How atoms are very small, no, sir.
Yeah.
So how they'll measure the distance between the center of nucleus and the outermost shell?
Look, I will explain. In this concept on how to determine the atomic radius, I will explain you. Listen. It is the distance between center of the nucleus to the valency shell. Must having electron. This is atomic radius. It's simple, from the center of the nucleus to the valency shell, in which having the electron. Okay. Complete the definition.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Listen carefully now.
Yes, sir.
So if it is any cricket ball or any circular shape, any material, we can calculate its atomic radius or its radius very easy. First of all, with the help of screw gauge or vernier calipers, we can find out its diameter, and half of this diameter is called as radius. If the object is visible, if it is somewhat big object, we can find out its radius very easily. But atom is very small, invisible. It's not possible to visible even the help of microscopes. Also, we can't. It's not possible to visible this atom. With the help of electron microscope, also we can't see the atom. Just we can identify in that position atom is there. That much small one is atom. And also, atom not having fixed boundary. Mind it, we are writing generally valence shell like this, but atom not having the proper boundary. It is the nucleus. The position of electron is sometime here also. This is the actual atom. Suppose atom, when you see with the help of electron microscope, the atom visible like this. Means mostly we can identify its electron only. Electron is not follows a fixed boundary. Sometimes it is coming closer to the nucleus, sometimes going far from the nucleus. But however, this one, see this is electron density. Wherever the probability of finding the electron is maximum, that's only we are calling orbital.
So, sir, the nucleus is never stable.
Nucleus is stable. Nucleus is stable. Nucleus not moves anywhere. Around the nucleus, electrons are revolving, right? Even though it's one electron or many electrons, but that one electron also not revolving in fixed path. If it revolves in fixed path, it is very easy to identify the atomic radius, but it won't have fixed path also. Okay. However, now the definition is simply modified. It is atomic radius is the distance between from the center of the nucleus to the valence electron, where the probability of finding the electron is maximum. That is called atomic radius. Even electron also here is there. Here also electron is there. This one not possible to take as atomic radius. Even this is also not possible to consider as atomic radius. Wherever the electron density is a maximum, this dots refers the electron density is maximum. The probability of finding the electron is maximum in this surface area. So that's what, from the center of the nucleus to the valence shell, where the probability of finding the electron is maximum. That is called atomic radius. So right, one more definition for atomic radius. The distance from the center of the nucleus to the point up to which the density of the electron cloud maximum. So this is as shown earlier diagram. This is maximum electron density. If you want to draw this diagram also. This is atomic radius.
So what's the word after electron?
After the electron, cloud. This one is right. Electron cloud maximum. That's one like an electron density or probability of finding the electron is maximum. That's called electron cloud.
Sir, could you repeat the definition of electron cloud?
Okay. Electron cloud means wherever the probability of finding the electron is maximum, that is called electron cloud. So this is the atom nucleus. Around the nucleus, electron is revolving. So here also we are finding the electron. Here also we are finding electron. Here also finding here, and here is the maximum. So that probability means suppose in a day where you are spending the maximum time, in home or playground or in school or in shopping mall or in somewhere, where we are spending most of the time now, in home only. Yes.
Yes, sir.
The probability of finding you is the maximum in home. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here also the probability of finding the electron maximum is this area, this surface. So here also there, but very less. Here is the maximum. That's called electron cloud.
So, sir, the electron cloud is the same as the valence shell, or is it different?
Different. Valence shell is it is a imaginary path. We are calling valence shells or shells, KLMN. We are calling those. Those are actually imaginary paths.
Yes, sir. But
that's different. This is different.
Yeah, so the two definitions, one is the distance from the valency shell, and one from the electron cloud.
This is actually when we consider atom is having the fixed path. According to Bohr's model, you already studied in school level, Bohr's model, atom having the fixed orbitals, right? K, L, M, N, this. But actually, how the atom is exist means like this exists, not exist like this. Atom not having fixed boundary according to Niels Bohr's theory. Atom having a fixed boundary, but in practically, atom not have fixed boundary. Atom is being like this. Center of the nucleus is only having permanent place, but electron is always moving and it is going sometime far and sometime coming closer to the nucleus. That's why atom not have fixed path. But Bohr's model is said atom having fixed path. The theory is failed because of this reason only.
Okay, sir. And
you are calling, okay, this is also definition. Yes, this is also definition, but it won't give the accurate distance from the atomic radius. It won't give accurate.
Yeah. Okay. So, sir, is it possible that the reason why the energy is released from atom is because of the maybe the collision of all these electrons in an atom? Because they have different orbits. So is it possible that they collide?
Collision? No. Collision not possible. In the electron collision not happens. And you are thinking this is the many number of electrons. This is actually only one electron. I am taking only hydrogen atom.
Oh.
Hydrogen atom having only one electron. This one electron only. How much speed electron is revolving around the atom? 3 into 10 power 8 or somewhat close to this. This is the light speed, correct? 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Light speed. Almost electron also revolving around the nucleus with light speed. If any object or any material is revolving with this speed, is it possible to see that? How is that shape? No. And even when you stand near the railway track, suppose the train is moving very fastly, 100 kilometers per hour, you are closely standing here. One person is going in the train. Can you visible his face clearly?
No, sir.
It's not possible. When you are closer to that train, the train also appears like a cloud. Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so same thing here. That's what we are calling cloud here. Electron is moving very fast.
Okay, sir.
And still, it's not found electron is a particle or it moving with a wave. Wave motion or particle nature. To determine this concept only taken 100 years. To find this, electrons are going like a wave or moving with a particle. But finally, they decided electron having both wave nature and particle nature. Okay, this and all we will discuss in another chapter.
Okay, sir.
Okay, completed. Atomic radius.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now how does practically determine the atomic radius? We will see now. The first thing is atom is very small particle. It's not visible. So if it is a big object, very easy to find out its radius. You know that. But atom is very small. So by directly with the help of scale or any instrument, we can't find radius of an atom. And also, first of all, we can't isolate a single atom. If you want, you can take only substance. Not possible to take single atom. So that is also one of the limitations for the determination of atomic radius. And which method is preferred to determine the atomic radius is X-ray diffraction technique. X-ray diffraction technique is used. So see how it is the X-ray diffraction technique is used. Suppose some object, substance we are taking here. In the substance, atoms also present. When you pass X-rays, wherever nucleus is there, here nucleus, another atom is closer to this. Or sometimes it is attached to the atom also. Nucleus. Here also nucleus. These X-rays are able to pass through the atom, but unable to pass through center of the nucleus. So when X-ray strikes this nucleus point, it's coming back. That ray is coming back. It's not passed through the atom. And also here also, it is coming back. And this we are calling scattering. This is a scatter ray. This is also another atom scatter ray. Now finding the distance between these two scatter points. This distance are finding. And the half of that distance is only called atomic radius. Anything doubt here? Once again, I will explain, listen. Did you learn gold foil experiment? School 9th standard.
Yes, sir.
Gold
Yes,
foil
sir.
experiment.
Yeah.
Yes,
When
sir.
alpha particles are passed through the atom, most of the alpha particles are passing through the atom, but very few atoms are only scattered back. Correct?
Yeah, Rutherford.
Here also same thing happens.
Yes,
If you pass X-rays in this technique, most of the waves are passing through the atom, but very few rays are coming back. Here, when X-ray strikes this point, nucleus point, it is coming back. And here also, these are passing through the atom, and here X-ray is coming back. And the distance between these rays are calculated. And the distance gives, half of the distance gives radius of atom. And this type,
So,
this radius is,
aren't those two different atoms?
yeah, these are two different atoms.
Yes, sir. So the
So
radius of which atom?
What?
These are two different atoms. So radius of which atom is being found?
See, we are taking
And-
one substance. Suppose we are taking sodium. Sodium substance we are taking. Sodium substance means what are the present in the sodium substance? Sodium atoms only present. Yes?
Yeah, I got it.
Now here only sodium atoms are there. Between that, the distance between the two nuclei is first calculating, and half of the distance is called radius, atomic radius.
Okay, sir.
Anything doubt here?
No, sir. No.
Okay.
Sir,
Now,
sir, but then it won't be accurate, right?
that is only accurate. But you may think mathematically here some gap is came in between the atoms, so how it will be accurate? Yes, it is only correct. When two atoms won't join easily, first of all, because of repulsions also exist. Means there is some property of finding electron also here. For electron which belongs to this atom or electron belongs to this atom, in between that repulsions also exist here. So that also we need to consider. We don't neglect all points. So here also some electron density is there. There exists some repulsion. So the overall distance we are taking, and half of the distance is only called radius.
Okay.
Okay, here totally we are taking three types of radius. One is metallic radius, covalent radius, and van der Waals radius. That depends upon nature of the substance. In covalent radius, suppose most of the non-metals, not noble gases, non-metals like nitrogen, chlorine, oxygen, sulfur, these elements, those are mostly combining like this. Suppose this is one chlorine atom, this is also another chlorine atom. First, they are calculating internuclear distance, and half of this internuclear distance is only called covalent radius. So, if you want definition, I will give you. Note down. Okay. One half the distance between the nuclei of nuclei of two covalently bonded atoms of the same substance. Of the same substance. The distance is 198 picometers. Internuclear distance 198 picometers. Then atomic radius is 198 by 2, it is 99 picometers. This is 198.
So PM stands for
Picometer.
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 PICO, sir.
PM.
Yeah, no,
Okay, okay.
spelling, yeah. Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir.
Picometer means 10 power minus 12 meter. The nuclear distance is 198 picometers. Completed definition?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, remaining two definitions I will give you in next class. Anything doubt here? One more thing, my here examination also they won't ask you what is the definition of covalent radius and all. They will ask you the relationship between the covalent radius, van der Waals radius, and metallic radius. That's very simple relationship. Okay, you can find out this very easy one. Okay, any doubt here?
No,
sir.
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
thank you guys.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
It is after 15-20 minutes.